State of the Union. Let's have this little discussion. Tell me who watched State of the Union for the first time yesterday.
Me.
All
I
right.
watched this for the very first time. I've never ever seen one before, and I wouldn't have thought that they would have been so rude and
Oh,
so
okay. We
disrespectful.
okay. Hold on. You we coming back to that because that's actually the first time
Yeah,
I saw it that bad for sure.
I haven't.
That's for sure.
I haven't watched State of the Union since Barack Obama. I'm just gonna be honest. I wasn't trying to hit Trump on State of the Union.
I
Like
watch all
what?
of them. I never miss
I
any of
know.
them. I never miss
Yeah.
any of them. If I miss it live, I go catch it on PBS or the White House or White House not good. So somewhere where I don't have to hear the response. That I gotta go watch it where I don't have to. Well, I don't have to hear the response. I don't have to hear the response. Now, who did watch the State of the Union yesterday? Hands and voices. Okay.
Arch.
Yeah.
Good. Who we
I
did it?
watched 5 minutes of it. I couldn't do it. I
No,
could
that's
not.
fair.
It was
That's fair.
disrespectful. It wasn't helpful. I didn't like it.
Okay, well, hopefully our discussion is the helpful part. Which is no, it's great. It's like Cliff Notes. Like I don't want to read, Canterbury Tales. Give me the Cliff Notes. Yeah, give me the Cliff Notes. We'll give you the Cliff Notes. All right, Phil and Susan suggested that we watch it yesterday, and I'm glad they did. But I wasn't fond of the rudeness. That's the first I've watched 40 something. I didn't get into politics to Bill Clinton. Well, I wasn't even aware of a government until Bill Clinton. Let me just, I was too young. So, there was a government. It was just a place that we live in and toys, and moon cookies and things like that. So Bill Clinton was my soiree into politics. And I've watched State of the Unions. That was a bit different. But there's a lot of stuff that I loved in it that I'm going to. But all State of the Union, even Donald Trump's, they're always good. They're always fantastic. You got to remember, there's some. You got a whole year to prep these things, and they're not. They got a whole year to prep. So as soon as Phil come back, we're gonna start off with Phil. But Grace, give us some. Yes, let's finish the job. So talk
That's
about
solid.
that.
Okay, so you know how Mr. Field and Miss Susan always say, "Hey, make sure you." Well, you said it too, Antonio. Make sure you got a theme of your keynote. Well, his theme, I figured out. Okay, his theme is "Let's finish the job," because he kept saying it over and over. So that's what stuck in my brain. And let's finish the job.
It's brilliant.
It was, and with some of the. Okay, he was putting some of the Republicans on blast. I ain't had me laughing because sometimes I like a little petty. But he was like, if you go look it up, it's facts. Go look it up. Come to my office and see me.
There needs to be far more of that, not to put them. He wasn't really putting the Republicans on blast. It was more of something else. But I will get to it though. You're right. He did have to put them on blast because they were some. It wasn't some. But let me just say this. There's two things I noticed. Well, I noticed a lot, but it was probably the rudest State of the Union I ever saw. But conversely, it was also the most I've ever seen the opposite party clap for what the current president was saying. That shocked me the most. I've never seen that before. Yeah, it was both. It was both and. Go ahead, Diana.
I noticed something about all of the Supreme judges.
Did notice that.
They did not smile, move, stand, flick a booger. They didn't do anything. Like they sat completely still the entire time. Is that something that they normally do?
Yeah,
I was gonna ask, hey, do they have to be neutral because they're judges?
I've never paid attention to. Well, see, we gotta ask Phil. I've never paid attention to the Supreme Court judges that were doing the State of the Union. I do know when you notice them, Biden was talking about their law that they did. So they
he was on Roe v. Wade.
So that could have something to do with it, right? But Phil, go ahead and let's let's launch this launch pad off, and because it was good. It was a
It
good
was.
time.
But the
We
Supreme Court justices, they're supposed to remain neutral because
well, they're
the
not,
law is
they're not
supposed to be
politically biased, yeah.
unbiased, so they can't clap for or against. They're not supposed to be for or against anything.
Okay.
Well, that's
Sonia,
all
you said
BS
that.
though. No, she's facts, but that's
It
BS.
is, it's
because
BS,
they-
but at the same time,
Yeah.
on camera, they have to be
Yeah, because they make
unbiased.
laws according to their parties. Anyway, go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, Lady Justice is blind, supposedly.
Supposedly.
But yeah, I thought it was fascinating. First of all, he had no gaffes. He stumbled a little bit in a couple places, but when you realize that he was a stutterer, and he got himself through that. So sometimes that echo of that condition just comes up a little bit. Yeah. But you could tell that speech has been worked. He'd been practiced. He'd been honing it. It was just and I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm an independent, so I don't have anything in the game in terms of that going. But he could certainly close them about taking Medicare and Social Security off the table. That was just brilliant what he did there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
And he says, I got my $3 trillion budget. Let me see yours, and let's work together. I mean, he called him out. There's no doubt about it.
He did.
And whoever the director is did a great job, because he was right on showing the right people when he was talking about something. They give a copy of that out beforehand to the news media.
Good point.
So the news media has a copy of it in front of them, so it's not like they're having to do this on the fly. So that's why you get such good shots. And when he talks about this issue, he's focused on somebody who has something to do with that. This issue, another issue, another issue. He used the gallery where his wife was sitting and those people were sitting.
Sure did.
Unbelievable. When we talked about the young man that was killed by the police, that was the first time that ever has been invited to the box. And God love his mother when she said, "Good will come out of this."
Yeah.
I mean, that gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
That she was able to have that much of the Lord with her, that she was able to say, good will come out of this. That was very impressive.
Yeah.
That was long too. I mean, that was one of the longest State of the Unions I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem long.
No.
It only became long because you said, "Man, this guy's good." Then you looked at when you looked at the clock, you didn't look at it like, "Man, I wish this was over." You looked like, "Wow, he's really been right on." So, and then when you heard the response, just made me want to puke.
They got that.
I mean, I think that response hurt the Republicans more than helped them.
It did. It did for sure.
It so well, like he paused.
No, he's talking about Sarah Huckabee. You get together, you pick who's going to do the official response. He's going to do the official response. So there's always, this is both parties now. This is both parties. This isn't a Republican thing. This is a political Congress thing. Okay, just to be clear. It is constitutional that the president must address the floor, the Congress, the State of the Union once a year. It's constitutional. He has to do that. Now, as technology has advanced, cameras and the public got to come in there, things like that. But that is constitutional. But they will then pick a speaker to then rebuttal both sides. And me and Phil will come back and tell you why it hurt Republicans more, because there's a reason why. But go ahead, Deanna. You want to say some stuff.
Oh, I think I missed the rebuttal.
I didn't have you watch it.
Oh, okay. I didn't have you watch
it.
I thought when he said the rebuttal, I thought he was talking about the people in the background that were just being rude, and he handled that. So he paused. He let them finish, and he just picked right back up where he paused
every time.
Every time.
Sometimes he stood up for himself. Sometimes he didn't. But he said something so great. He never talked over. He said something so great, Phil, that I really enjoyed. He was like, "No, I love conversion." I love conversion. That's fine. Come on. And I was like, now that is how you handle hecklers, because that was heckling. There's no way around it. That was absolutely, well, not all of it was heckling, but there were some very heckling moments. There were some very heckling moments for sure. The Congresswoman, and I'll be respectable to her, that literally called him a liar while sitting in a fur coat in the back or something like that. That doesn't really make sense, but I'll reserve my talk right there until I get to the fact checking, because I went, and nearly everything he said was true, but we'll come back to that in a second. Let's go back to why the response may have hurt the Republicans more. And everybody knows I'm I'm not even sure if I'm an independent. I think I'm independent from independence. Yeah, I might be independent from independence. But that was a State of the Union for two people groups, three people groups, under-marginalized people of color. There's no doubt about that. That was strong. Elderly. This is like, elderly were the biggest part of this State of the Union, and the middle class.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So to disagree with such things makes your party look terrible. Right?
Well, so let me think about it. When did he become was he like 30 years old when he came?
Yeah, very, very early. And he even said
So
it in the speech. I've been here longer than most of you. And
Oh,
they even
yeah.
helped him when he said that. They helped him when he said that.
Do the math. You know,
Yeah.
he went in there when he was 30 and he's 80. He's seen, when they do it, every 2 years they do the State of the Union,
Yeah.
or every year?
I think it's every year, if I'm not mistaken. I'll look it up. I
Every
thought it was
year.
every year. Yeah.
State of Union
So-
is every year.
So he has sat through 50 State of the Union.
Wow.
He has seen 50 State of the Unions. So there's probably nobody that at least we will see that's been exposed to that many.
Wow.
So he had something to draw upon on how to do it right and the wrong way to do it. I thought it was interesting to see Kevin McCarthy. He didn't know when to stand up and sit down and when to clap and when not to clap. He was.
Yeah, that's always fun to watch.
Now,
That's
I wish they would
always fun.
cut down a little bit on the standing ovations. They get a little old after a while.
Oh yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, that's true. But I will tell you this. I was so proud of Republicans because they did a lot of clapping for a Democratic president. I've never seen that before, to that point. Like, I've never seen that. I've in a State of the Union, and I ain't seen 50. I've seen 20 or so. Right? I've seen
Did
20
they?
or so.
Because I
They-
just saw a whole side that never stood at any point in time.
But it's supposed to be like that, and it shouldn't be. But it's supposed to be like that, right? Like, you're talking about, like, yesterday, LeBron James broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. The Thunder was supposed to try to stop him, and this is fine. This is part of competition. Is there are some rules that we're supposed to do. It's not supposed to get disrespectful, but it is supposed to say we're not coming here just to lay down. And which was one of the greatest parts of the union. It was one of the greatest parts of the State of the Union yesterday, because President Joe Biden was trying to say, we're not gonna come in just to, lay down. Y'all could do this here. And this was the longest part of the heckling. And then he went, well, fine, just letting y'all know that we're not going to lay down. I'm vetoing it. Right? And everybody, he was trying to poetically say it, but they held us up. They were like, well, fine, that's fine. Just so you know, all right, I'm just not going to lay down for it. And I loved how he paused in his speech multiple times and addressed the conversion in the crowd. That was so refreshing to me, because the last time I see somebody do that was Obama, and it was his last State of the Union, when he said, well, last time I see somebody do that to literally forget this speech. Let me address y'all real quick. When he said, "What? This is my last one. I have to run no more," and the Republicans cheered. He was like, "No, it's okay. I won them all." And then it was like, "Yeah, boom!" So that's kind of what Joe Biden was doing yesterday, and it was amazing. Two Republicans, fairness, because they clapped more, but it made sense though, because he was talking about elderly. He was talking about the issues that their own constituents want. Now, I'm sure I didn't watch the rebuttal. I'm going to watch it today, but I'm sure they undermined every single thing that they did in attendance. But, that's kind of what rebuttals do.
Did he say he had signed 300 initiatives?
He did.
That was in 2 years. He has okayed over 300 initiatives.
Yep, he sure has. He has. So the day before the State of the Union, we talked about this yesterday. Most of American people, according to CNN, said that Joe Biden had done anything as president. And I'm so glad that he took the un-Obama approach. Joe Biden put it out there. This is what I did. This is what I did. Don't play with us. This is what we did. Don't play with us. This is what we did. And he opened it up by saying, we've created more jobs in 2 years than any other president has done in 4 years ever. And he was 98% right. Bill Clinton actually did more, but he's true. Every president that has ever come across, red or blue, old or new, in 2 years, this man has done more than everybody else. Unemployment's at 3.4% or something like that. It's dumb. Like if you get any more unemployment rate less than that, then people are going to be at the job not working, because it's just going to be an uncompetitive workforce. Like you need at least 1% unemployment, because you can't fire nobody, Grace, if everybody got a job in a capitalistic society. This man said a lot of facts, and some innuendos and some falsities. But I pulled them up. Let me share the screen real quick. And I pulled up some. I was trying to find. I hate going to certain websites, but I really do, and I'm not really a fan of going to MSN with a liberal president, but their list is fantastic. He's got record job creation and low unemployment. It's true. It's absolutely true. And it did this in 2 years. Here's the inflation thing. I'm not gonna go over the details. I'll send you the link and you can look at it yourself. But here's the inflation details. Consumer prices were still up 6.5% in December from a year ago. But things are getting better. Social Security and Medicare. Now, we had our dad. In fact, let me pause right, because I don't want y'all to hear nothing else. I had my dad on the phone, and they got tablets now, and so he had NPR radio. So we actually had him on, Phil. We actually had him on. And he was super happy because Joe Biden did something, or this administration put a $2,000 cap on medicines, for medicines for the elderly. Like, this is what you like, no matter how much your medicines cost out of pocket. I think it goes in effect 2025 or something like that, but $2,000. And he called out Big Pharma. Now, most people call out Big Pharma. Most people do. Most presidents do. But Joe Biden was acting like Antonio Smith when he called out Big Pharma. He went after it. He gave details. They $13 max is what it cost them for insulin, is what he said. He said $10 if you want to package and ship it, $13, and they charging $150 and no more of that. Then, and I was so shocked when he went after Ticketmaster, because John Oliver did. John Oliver did a whole thing. Ticketmaster is predatory. Joe Biden wants to get rid of all fees, bank drafting fees, overdrafting fees. And if you're going to do fees, and this is my favorite part of the whole State of the Union because I'm a capitalist, put them up front. Let the consumers know immediate, no more hidden fees, plain English, tell us why we paying this up front. So and it's a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of stuff. But Grace, what did you get? And you can do plain English.
Oh,
You don't have to be like,
Yeah,
it was a smart one.
one of the main things when he said, let's give our teachers a raise. The first thing I said, I take you out. I said, give my mama a raise, damn it.
I know you heard that. He sure did. He sure did. He sure did. Phil, would you say, I think this is a bold statement. In the beginning of his term, because he did all this is the first 100 days, I knew it was gonna happen. I said in the beginning of his term, I said, nobody's done more legislation like that than FDR. But I'm saying now that he's done more regulations or more things than FDR has ever done. Well, he didn't need to, but I'm just saying he is now the new FDR is what I would say. How is that hyperbole? Am I going too far, or is the jury still out?
Yeah, I think you're right on with that. I'm amazed. I was really excited when the older Bush became president because he had one of the most experience. He was the head of the CIA. He had more experience as president than anybody that I had in my lifetime that was in there. So yeah, no, I think it's kind of exciting right now. He really put a bunch of hope, I think, to a lot of people. And you mentioned the poor, the middle class, the elderly. I got to remember I'm part of the elderly. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, just attacking insurance for elderly was brilliant, and I've never seen it done before. I didn't realize it was 16 million people enrolled in the Affordable Care Act. I think that's what he said, or maybe he said 16 new people enrolled, or maybe anyway. I know it was 16 or 60. I could have misheard. Whatever it was, though, it was an impressive number, because I know that wherever there's a red state, we've sabotaged the Affordable Health Care Act. Okay, and I'm saying we French-like because it wouldn't me, all right? It wouldn't me for sure. But so I'm just surprised that number was even that much. This is the idea of knowing that even Republicans need health care. Don't make free healthcare a blue thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing that people need. And to cap medicines at out-of-pocket expenses at $2,000 sits with me the most, because let's take Adonia, for example. She don't need medicine, but she at that point of life to where things start going crazy. Your parents start dying. You start going through, if you're a man, then you don't go through menopause, but your wife do. If you're the wife, then you going through menopause. And then your kids start getting more scarce because they got their own lives. Your friends start dying. And you get to that it's a crazy, from like 45 to 55 is a really torturous 10 years on a human being when you think about it, because of our parents start dying and your kids start dying and all sorts. It's just a bunch of stuff that happens between this 10 years, and it's terrible on a marriage. You now arguing over stuff that you don't even have nothing to do with in a marriage because you're 45, 55 years old. So to take the burden of now we have to ruin our credit score over staying alive with medicine, I just think that's quite humane. Just take that away. That don't make no sense.
It's especially, and don't get me wrong, when we're sending billions of dollars overseas to help the rest of the world too. I mean, that's we don't mind giving the government our money. Just do good with it. It's how you use it after we give it to you is that really I've had an issue over my lifetime. Is do good for that. I loved it how he took a quick shot at the deniers about the election was rigged.
Yeah,
he didn't spend a lot of time there, but he did get a little jab at it.
Yeah,
The only thing I think he didn't cover was gerrymandering. When I think of all the issues out there, he covered everything.
Yeah.
Gerrymandering, that's the one issue I don't think he didn't cover.
I don't think he did either, and I'm not sure. If I see a president get up there and cover gerrymander, I'm like Shannon Sharp said yesterday, if LeBron James hit a game buzzer shot to win the game plus break the record, he said, I'm done. Take me, Lord. I don't need nothing else. If I see a president get up there and say gerrymandering is bad, especially a president that's been incumbent for a long time, like Biden, take me, Lord. I don't need to see nothing else, because that is the worst thing. Second worst thing. Having parties is the worst thing to happen to politics, and gerrymandering is up there with number 2. It's up there. It's in the top 5.
And when there's a great special that Fox News is going on, the Patriots. Have you watched any of that?
Oh no, I sure haven't. Let me pull it up.
Oh, it's amazing. They talk about Thomas Jefferson. It separates the legend from the myth.
Man,
and it's Fox News, and it's a whole series. Kelsey Grammer MCs it, and they go from the beginning of the revolution all the way to the end.
Wow.
Francis Marion.
What's it called again? The Patriots. Fox News, The Patriots.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Let me share my screen. And Grace, since you read so well, this actually happened, y'all. And I still can't believe it. I've been talking about it, but I want y'all to see it. Read that, Grace. In fact, hold on, let me make sure. Read that.
Prescription drug costs. While Biden highlighted steps taken to lower prescription drug costs, the help is being phased in, and the administration didn't get everything it wanted. The Inflation Reduction Act passed last year capped seniors' insulin costs at $35 for a month's supply starting this year.
Groundbreaking. I'm sorry, go ahead. I shouldn't give you my commentary. I'm going to do it anyway, though.
Biden had wanted the cap to go beyond Medicare to also apply to people with private insurance. While he called on Congress to take that next step, it's unlikely to get much GOP support. Beginning this year, drug companies that increase prices above inflation levels must pay rebates to Medicare. Beginning in 2025, no Medicare recipient will have to pay more than $2,000 a year for medicines. The government will also start negotiating Medicare drug prices, but price changes won't start until 2026.
I had 2 things to say here. For one, that's groundbreaking, and I'm proud. For 2, I'm pissed that I got to be proud about that groundbreaking, because it should just be free. It should just be free. But the mere fact that one side fights and says no, so that only applies for pretty much elderly, because only elderly people will have Medicaid and Medicare, or disabled. You understand what I'm saying. But if you got private insurance, which you deserve to have private insurance, that doesn't apply to you. That's dumb. That don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense to not cap insulin at $35. And then the great capitalistic idea of saying, fine, I can't tell you what to do, but if you're going to overcharge, no worries. You're going to keep Medicare open for the next generation with rebates. It's brilliant. Because he basically said yesterday, we not closing down Medicare, which that don't got to make sense to you, but Adonia is right there knocking at the Medicaid door. Antonio is knocking. I used to think 41 was old, Phil. I used to think I'm 41. I'm knocking at that door to where I'm gonna need some assistance one day, Grace. You understand? And it's a beautiful thing. Now, as far as Phil, what would you say about the speech and debate skills that he displayed that we can use ourselves on Tuesdays, 7:00 Central Standard Time?
It was a conversation. He didn't hyperbole it. He did get a little bold at some point. I'm trying to remember what issue it was.
I
There was an
think
issue where
it
he
was-
really,
I think it was the abortion. I think it was the abortion.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the abortion issue because the crowd, one of them, somebody called him a murderer. Anyway, it was so much heckling going on yesterday. But in fairness, it was clapping going on too. It was clapping going on too. Crazy, crazy. Y'all got any questions about the State of the Union? You know, we don't do politics, but you need to do State of the Union.
Yes.
That food around your money.
Yeah, I do. When he was talking about, okay, he talked about the middle class and saying how billionaires and billion-dollar companies are going to pay a 15% tax.
Yep.
Because I just kept hearing him say, it's not fair, it's not fair. But then I kept hearing you say, well, fairness destroys ministry. So did he set up the middle class to fail? I was just trying to get a good understanding.
No
Is it a
doubt.
good thing that he's doing?
I'm gonna let Phil answer the bulk of this question, but fairness destroys ministry. It destroyed the trickle down economics ministry, is what it did. Okay, so the ministry of trickle down economics is gone now. Or at least that's what he's trying to do, because that's the only ministry that was being blessed. The only ministry that was being blessed was the top 1% ministry, trickle down economics, and then one day y'all will get it. So if this goes down, will fairness stop ministry? You damn right it will. But it'll work out for the people. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Phil. That's a really good question.
Well, I think what he's trying to get back to was, and I was born in 51, so when you realize that I was born only 5 years after the war ended. I mean, but that was the hot times. That's when manufacturing was good. That's when you had communities being built. That's when everybody had their own houses. And that's when Eisenhower passed the Interstate Highway Initiative. And that's what he's going back to. He's wanting to position us in a way in which the middle class gets a chance, has some opportunities, has something to do. A little call out to Columbus, Ohio. Did anybody miss that? Did you miss that? To call out to Columbus, Ohio?
Yeah, you sure did.
Little call out to Columbus in there.
Yeah, it sure did. Sure did. No, yeah, Grace, you asked a really good. That was a very advanced question you asked. Yeah, it was an advanced question. We would
Did we answer it?
I believe so. Thank you.
Yeah, there should be. It's going to be spent that he's going after the rich, but that's not. He even saying I'm a capitalist. So just so he's like, I'm a capitalist. I remember him saying that specifically, right in that space when he said that. It's not about going after. He said something so great. He said a billionaire should not have a lower tax rate than a nurse or a firefighter. I don't remember if he said firefighter, but I can't remember if he said nurse or a firefighter. And that's true. That's true. That's absolutely true. That's 100% true. That's not inappropriate. It's not like, but is it going to be easily fixed? No, y'all. Is he going to do it? Sure he is. But that, though, may be after his term, which somebody can then come in and repeal it, right? You know what I'm saying? If he don't win the second election. So that's always, let's think about what Donald Trump, well, Donald Trump repealed everything Obama did, but that had nothing to do with, in my opinion, there you go. Fixed it up. In my opinion, that had nothing to do with red and blue. That had everything to do with black and white, as Donald Trump understood it. I'm not saying the system in this case, but when you look at the body of work that Donald Trump he was repealing crazy things. Like he didn't just repeal, Affordable Care. He repealed everything, because now what is the first black president, like what they're gonna write now in the history books? There was a black president. Yay. There's no accomplishments. because history is written by the winners. So that, in my opinion, was a very, very good war strategy, playing the long-term game. Everybody's not going to agree with that, but I got the balls to tell you what I think. So there you go. That I didn't see that as a red and blue thing. What Trump did, I didn't see that as a red and blue thing. Not the repealing. Not that. So would somebody come and repeal Joe Biden? Sure they will, but that would be more of a political thing. I'm drawing an isolation between political and what I see Trump did. Not calling Trump racist. In that particular case, I got plenty of other things I can call Trump racist on. I don't have to call him racist on that. But I am calling a spade a spade. Some stuff just makes sense.
Wouldn't you have liked to have been a fly on the wall watching Trump watch the state?
Oh man, I sure would have. I sure would have.
And he never mentioned his name. My predecessor.
Never.
My predecessor.
Never. And it's incredible. And it was great. It was great. I noticed two observations. Now these are opinions, and they're good opinions. Well, I don't know. This is observations. I just call them that. What it is, they're observations. I noticed the heckling, which I never really saw before. Not like that, but and maybe it's just me, Phil, but I saw two things. I saw how they try to bully Biden, seems to be some successful, but then I also saw how they Biden's friend too. When I looked at the crowd, I saw both. When I looked at his opposite crowd, I saw the heckling, and then I wish when y'all go back and watch the replay, there's a front section, they sitting there mean, and then by to say something, they tapping each other, going like you can see them, coming alive and stuff too. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. So I saw both. I saw heckling, and then I saw ain't no such thing as red and blue. It's the same damn government. These guys will play golf together tomorrow. I saw
he's been a part of that organization for 50 years.
50 years.
Then you got Trump, who's never been a politician in his life, never ran for anything, never governed anything, never was responsible for anything except for a business that now we're finding out was nothing but a shell game.
Pretty much. That's exactly what it was.
So I mean, there's you talk about a contrast. Joe Biden, who's 50 years in Congress, and then Trump, who's never governed anything, run anything, and what he did run, he screwed up.
Yeah. And Phil, what a great observation you made there, because when you think about it, people think now that the president isn't doing anything because he's not on Twitter. What's wrong with us? I don't get when a quiet presidency became a problem. Because we never had a loud presidency until the last 4 years. It's just one of those things that made me wonder. But I will tell you this last thing I got to say about it. Unless y'all ask Phil another question, I will tell you this: the propaganda machine is a hell of a drug. It's a hell of a drug. The idea that Joe Biden, and I told my dad this last night, I am not a fan of Joe Biden. Now, the person I am. I'm a fan of all people. But I told my dad, because he was like, yeah, Joe Biden, because me and Deanna are handling his which one are we doing?
We're doing Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
Right now. Like they mail him, we doing it, and we got to March or May to get it done. You got it done. No, you got it turned in.
Yeah, we waiting on them now.
Oh, we wait. Okay, yeah. So you got it done like last week. All right. So he wants me to do that, and he wants a certain portion of his SSI to go to him, and then he wants me to put it into some sort of investment. Right. So I got to do all this from prison. We're doing his stuff from prison. So he was happy about Joe Biden, what Joe Biden said, because he's elderly and he's in prison and he's had total hip replacement. and stuff like that. So he's got that going on. And I was like, I like what he said. And of course, you obviously like what he said. And I told him, I said, no, it was a great speech. It was a great idea. It was a great everything. And I'm telling you, and I said, Dad, I'm telling you this as a man. I'm not a fan of Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the reason you've been in prison so long. Yeah, that's what I told him. He wrote that bill. He championed that bill. That mandatory minimum is what you caught on right now. That's what you caught on. But I know how to peacefully not care about, my opinion and things like that, because that's not important. It's not, my opinion is not important. What is important is, did he take care of the middle class? Sure enough. Did he take care of the elderly? I don't want to say the elderly can't take care of themselves, because y'all got the largest transfer of wealth happening. But the government owe y'all, because it wouldn't be no damn government without your taxes. It's the truth. It is the truth. You talk. Feels I was born in 51. Okay, he's been paying taxes since 69. And that's baby boomers. Before that. There you go. As baby boomers, the largest generation.
I was 12 when I got a social security number, because I was selling popcorn at the OSU stadium.
There you go now. See that? So they owe you. They owe Jerome. Jerome's supposed to get two installments. And them installments, Jerome, is apologies. We sorry, man. We sorry. You're supposed to. Because they promised Adonia they would take care of her. Now, damn it, do what you said you was going to do. If not, if you're not going to do, this is my last thing. If you're not going to do what you said you were going to do for me, if you're not going to give me my money, then stay out my business. Don't monitor nothing no more. Don't do anything. I get to do what I want. There's no more income tax. Remember, because if you're going to have a government, we are in agreement with our government to give up a large portion of our freedoms. That's what it means. In exchange for my freedom, you don't want to hear it this way, but this is exactly what it is. Exchange for my freedom, I give you permission to protect me. So if you're not going to give Jerome his Social Security, Jerome could go out there and kill anybody without going to jail. It's the truth. That's my libertarian side coming out. As libertarian as that sound, straight anarchy, don't put me in prison. I get to go to Walmart and steal anything I want to. Because you violated your agreement, I get to violate mine. Remember, I told y'all I was for Wall Street bets messing over the short sale of that stock, because they were selling out those stocks knowing they were going to do it. So when the people turn around against you, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. So if the reason why, and this is just what I'm giving you is not a psychological, I'm giving you a philosophical conversation based in, there's a term called it's like controlled environment. Anyway, I forget what it's called, but it means the reason why Phil don't walk to Adonia and slap the hell out of her is because he gonna get in trouble for it. And we need that. We absolutely need that. Because without that, there's no safety for people who can't protect themselves. Men in power continue to stay in power. Women never graduate from school. You need that controlled rule that says law don't hit women, but I'm a gay man. Fuck that mean? Don't hit women. This has got nothing to do with it. Don't hit women. You are stronger. And without that, we go into anarchy. So when you don't act like a government, then then the people get to tell the government, then you don't get to govern me no more. And as crazy as you think I'm sounding, that is inside our United States Constitution. I'm not making this up. Right now, if you wanted to, we can overthrow the government and establish a new one. That's the whole great experiment. Biden talked about that. America is the only country founded on a thought, on an idea. You mention that often, on an idea. And the idea of the Republic of America is, if you don't do right by me, we'll throw this whole thing away. That's the beauty of America. So take
in
care
the
of the
series,
government.
in the series, The Patriots, they talk about that a lot because they talk about George Washington, Aaron Burr, Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, Adams. It's a great series.
Yeah.
Paul Revere. They talk. They what is the legends? The legends. What is myth and what really happened? They really did a good job.
I'm gonna pull that up.
So if you ever wondered about the Revolutionary War in our country during that and how it became, they talked about Francis Marion, Swamp Fox. They really covered that whole area really well. It was really educational.
Yeah, you said it's called The Patriots. I can't find it. The Patriots. I thought you just send me the link whenever you get a chance.
Okay, well, I gotta find it too.
Not the link, the title, or something. Because I'm looking. I got. Oh,
you know what? Fox News,
Yeah.
The Patriots.
Okay, that's my problem. Is I didn't go to Google. I'm in DuckDuckGo. So let me go to Google real quick, and I'll probably find it here. The Patriots series, Fox News. Watch Legends, Lines.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's it right there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right then. Perfect. Thank you so much. I got it now. Oh yeah. There's Kelsey Grammer. Oh, and then there it is. Look, y'all. That's why I couldn't find it. Here it is. The Patriots. There it is. The Patriots. But it's on Legends and Lies. I guess that's their thing. There it is right there. The Patriots. Got it. All right, then. I guess I'll have to join Fox Nation. I'm already part of the newsletters. Deanna, say something sweet. Close us out.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. I hope you had fun. I enjoyed my very first State of the Union address. That was my very first. So thank you, Mr. Phil and Miss Susan, for the homework assignment.
Your very first customer that bought 2 of your books at one time.
Right? Oh,
Amen.
snap. I forgot about that one. Thank you.
And real quick, I want to thank everybody who stayed and was involved in the conversation here about the State of the Union address. It's a lot of people wouldn't invest their time to pay attention. And we only have a government of people that are willing to pay attention to how the government's run to make it run better. So thank you for hanging around and participating.
Amen to that, brother. Thank you so much. Thank y'all so much. Go ahead.
We got Pain 2020 tonight at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Thank you all. Yes, ma'am. Will do. Thank you all so much for joining us. You can plant better. You can dominate. We love you all. Go have fun.
Love you, everybody. Love you more.
Love you more.
Love you more.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good one.